Will we partake in God pouring out his anger and wrath? Absolutely. But we don't know what that feels like. You can't hate him with all your might. Not really. He give you a job. Some of y'all Monday morning gonna walk right up in there. How you doing, boss? How was your weekend? The Cowboys won. Yeah, I like the Cow. Yeah, tell me your mind. Y'all gonna walk in there and smile right in his face and get that paycheck and walk okily dokily, boss, and walk right on about y'all day. Right? So you can't really hate him. He controls too much. Your livelihood is based upon what he gives you. Because God said you will serve this man for the one of all things. So how could you hate the man that feeds you?
All right, I want to start off always by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Salutations to that came out there pushing this word in all sincerity, in all honesty, and to the 144,000, the 1/3 men, women, and children whom the Lord has foreordained to receive mercy. Shalom. This lesson is going to be in response to this video that I see here on screen from UIC Virginia in the classroom. Don't hate Esau, And I'll tell you something along the line of agreeing with thine adversary doesn't mean you don't hate him, So one of the precepts that he quote and, clearly doesn't understand the scripture, this is the first one we're going to get, So right now IUIC is they're pretty much doing damage control, because the leader Nate, went on an interview, a talk show interview, I believe in South Africa, and they were asking him straight up, if they hate, so-called white man, Esau. He said, we don't hate him, God hates him, just like, General Yohana did a few years back, and these men are showing you where their allegiances lie, and then in order to excuse, their twisting of the doctrine and their cowardice, what they do is try to twist the scriptures to fit their agenda. So this man now is saying that, because we live peaceably, with Esau in a society, that means that, we don't hate him because we have to go to him for the want of all things. That means we don't hate him. Let's go ahead and start with the scriptures. So this is Deuteronomy 28, and I'll start from verse, where is it now? Here we go, verse 48. It says, Deuteronomy 28, verse 48, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, in thirst, in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Now let's focus on a couple things here in the verse. First of all, it says, thou shalt serve thine enemies. Do you love your enemies or do you hate your enemies? Right? The Lord sent our enemies after us, and we serve them in hunger, in thirst, in nakedness, and in want of all things. And it said, those enemies put a yoke of iron upon our necks until he have destroyed us. Right? So this is a part of our history. This is documented. If you just Google yoke of iron, you will see images of so-called black men and women, men and women of the tribes of Israel being put in slavery. Are you saying that for those acts we should not hate him? Just because we are living in this system right now and we have to use his currency to buy food, that does not mean that we should hate him? The scripture says that we are serving our enemies. What do you do to your enemy? Do you love your enemy? Right? And then he said another thing, you will go up and you will, talk peaceably to master and to the white man and say, how's the Cowboys game? Yeah, whatever. Right? And that doesn't mean we hate him. No, this is what the Lord said. This is Matthew 5 verse 25. Agree with thine adversary quickly, while thou art in the way with him. Lest at any time the adversary, right, which is another word for enemy, deliver thee to the judge, and the judge honor thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. So, and it goes right back to what Yahushua said to his apostles, his disciples, then in another instance, right? Be thou what? Wise as serpents, but harmless as doves. It is a point of wisdom to know that when you are behind enemy lines, without strength and power, you be humble and you serve your enemy until such time when you are given the power to recompense him for what he has done. But before then, what are you gonna do? You're gonna start a fight with every Edomite you see. You don't even know who is an Edomite, because somebody can look like an Edomite but actually be an Israelite, or some of the other nations that have been, whitewashed among the heathen, so to speak. So whitewashed among the Caucasians, so to speak. So it is a point of wisdom and subtlety, right, to know, to agree with your enemy while thou art in the way with him, because he now has the power. He's in control. It is his system. So for now, you shut your mouth, you be a good slave, and you do what you need to do until that time. But that doesn't mean that you've now stopped hating him. Still your adversary. Let's look up a couple words here. So the first word here I'm going to look up is agree. Agree with, right? Let's play this.
Strong's G 2132. Unaeo.
And it says to wish one well, to be well disposed, of a peaceable spirit. So pretty much you be a nice person. That's what it means. If you look up the word agreeable, matter of fact, let's look up that word. Let's look up the word agreeable. Agreeable meaning. All right, the word agreeable means quite enjoyable and pleasurable, pleasant, willing to agree to something. So you be pleasant, yeah, just like he said in the video. You go to master and you be like, hi, how was your weekend? You be agreeable, you be peaceable. Agree with thine adversary quickly. And if you look up that word adversary, here's the word.
Strong's G 476. Antidikas.
An adversary, an enemy. Right? So you be peaceable, you be agreeable, you be pleasurable, to your enemy while thou art in the way with him. Lest he what? Deliver thee to the judge deliver thee to the officer, and they cast thee in prison. Right? He has the upper hand right now. So you do what? You be agreeable for the time being. Right? Romans 12 and verse 18. If it be possible, as much as lies within you, live peaceably with all men. Right? 1 Peter 2, verse 17. It says, honor all men, love the brotherhood, fear God, honor the king. Why? Because the king have power. But then there's going to come a time, right, when we're going to be able to what? To have the upper hand. So we're going to wrap here with Baruch chapter 4, verse 25. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from God. For thine enemy has persecuted thee. But shortly thou shalt see his destruction and shalt tread upon his neck. That doesn't sound like love to me, right? That is the language of hate. But shortly thou shalt see his destruction and shall what? And shall tread upon his neck. I said this was the last one, but there's one more I wanted to get. All right? There's one more I wanted to get. Because apparently IUIC has forgotten, the things that Esau has done, right? And that they are continuing to do, And funny enough, when my mother moved to the States, like 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago, and at first, when I came to this shoot, she didn't believe me that, the so-called white man was, the devil. She thought that there were some of them that were good because she worked for them, But then after being there, especially in the last several years, she learned that even the ones that are very nice to you in front of your face and you think that you have a good relationship with them, they actually hate you. They actually have that prejudice against you, and they discriminate against you. They see you as different and less than them, even though they seem to be, your friend, right? So you don't know what you're talking about. You IUIC men, you've obviously taken the bag, because you can't be that dull, that thick, right? This is Psalm 37. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat. 137, Salakia. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, yea, we wept when we remembered Zion. We hanged our harps on the willows in the midst thereof. For they that carried us away captive required of us a song, our enemies, right? They that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion. How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth, if I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. The word raise means to destroy, right? O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. Right? So that's clear and to the point. There's no need to elaborate on that. So hopefully this lesson was edifying. Till next time, Shalom.